So after being let down in every conceivable way possible, Cardfight Vanguard came back at us with maybe the most glorious 22 minutes in that franchise's history. Could Yu-Gi-Oh! Do the same? No. Not even close. However, I will say that it was at least it was at least it was at least good. There's at least stuff for me to talk about, okay? That's where we're at with this franchise. Somehow the pendulum has swung, and the one that's usually interesting to talk about is boring, and the one that's usually boring is interesting to talk about. Also, pendulums, Yu-Gi-Oh! Can we please have pendulums back in the show? I want more summoning mechanics. Hey. Oh yeah, also let's clarify something. So, we're covering episodes 49 and 50 today because I thought we were at 48 last week. But no, we were at 49. The site I was using just didn't have 49, and let's be real here, who had the fucking interest to take a look? But yeah, no, so I am now officially all caught up, and the 45 minutes it took to get through these two episodes felt like a goddamn eternity. But yeah, no, so let's just start. So episode 49 opens with Yuamu and Yuhi seeing that Yugioh went up to every political rival who was opposed to the war and wanted to make a peace settlement, and freezing them using the power of the boring manga panel. That will never not be a terrible, not funny plot point. And you know what? That could have been really fucking cool. If fucking Yugioh was there, what the fuck is this show's obsession with these two stupid kids? And look, they're not bad characters. They're not badly acted. They're not even really badly written. And I'm not saying Yugioh is like the most fascinating, unique character ever. But what is this show's obsession with splitting relevancy between the three of them? It results in none of them are really ever quite given the time they need to shine. Yugioh is a protagonist who never feels like he's moving the story forward. Yuhi is a best friend who sometimes gets way too much focus, yet never feels like he's growing as a person. And Yuamu is probably the only one of them who's even remotely fun or interesting, but because she's the girl, has to stay in the background because vagina not allowed to be relevant in this shit. And so yeah, that's just what happens here. And so, because Yuhi doesn't have the history with Yugioh for that scene to feel impactful, it just turns into a very generic Yuhi being like, what you're doing is wrong. That's it. And like, they're gonna try and get the video camera going to show the public what's happening, but the public doesn't have personalities or faces or more than like two voice actors. Also, do they have women in this society? Because like, we never see females, I don't think. Is the weird little like ladybug one a dude or a chick? And in which case, who's getting it up to that? How the fuck do they repopulate? Like, maybe that's why Yugioh is just, like, so frustrated with everything. It's because he's just got a nut, and for whatever reason, he's not feeling the giant chick. So, yeah, they're gonna get the camera back on, and part of me just wanted Yugioh to, like, cut their heads off. Just shoot them in the heads. It would have been horrifying, but it would have been funny. And so then Yugioh shows up, and he's got a big superhero landing, which, to be fair, that felt cathartically entertaining. And then we cut to they're in front of everybody. And I will say another thing I kind of appreciated was that I like that not everyone is like gaslit into following Yugioh. A guy is like, well, hold on, maybe we should hear Yugioh out. And you see that spread throughout the public. It makes them feel a little bit more like an actual society of people as opposed to your usual anime Code Geass style. Everyone's just the same level of brainlessly evil slash stupid. But then it all just goes for nothing. Because when Zuijou's like, all right, Udius, make your point, he's just like, duel me, bitch. And so they go into space where the spaceships turn into giant dual discs. And I will also say it's CG, but it's pretty good looking CG for Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know, just the way they used proper coloring and shading and the fact that you're in space, so there's not a ton of environment to interact with. It made the dual discs look cool for what they were. And then the duel starts, and the gimmick of this duel is that in order to have a giant spaceship duel, you need to have single person crafts that make the holograms come real. And if you attack them, the people get hurt for reasons. And okay, all right, fine. The other sort of thing is that the people piloting the crafts are our other characters, and because of this, most of the monsters summoned in this duel are their cards. And a lot of times, I think this is kind of a cute idea. Yeah, it's a horrible deck building strategy, but I am a sucker for use my power main character and let's be like we're fighting with you. That can be fun. But I don't know, it just doesn't really work here. Like, I don't feel like Udius has that level of bond with everybody for it to feel earned in the same way this kind of plotline feels earned with Yuga or Yusei or fuck, even Jaden when he had to get Alexis back. It just kind of just feels like everyone's there and they're like, fuck it, we got nothing else to do. Let's go into space. And then the duel happens. Oh, and there's the other side of the duel, which is that Udius is going to fight Zuijouh and Yuga is going to fight the Earth Dammer. Yuga coming back made me smile. I can't help it. Even if like he doesn't really do anything, it's Yuga. He's here and I love him. But yeah, so then the two duels start and I thought they said tag duel, but no, it's just two separate duels, which just means the Yuga and Earth Dammer one feels like just wasting time. But yeah, so Yuga and Zuijouh start dueling. And Zuijouh's all like, I came prepared for the Ibli lock, so he uses Dark Hole. So everyone's just getting flinged back and forth, which kind of ruins the tension or interest in this actual thing when everyone's just being ping-ponged and it doesn't matter what happens to them. This is why making sure you know how to communicate what you're trying to do is very important. And so then Zuijouh uses a gimmicky board wipe strategy. That's right, Rush Duels have those too now. And then Udius beats that with the giant ogre thing that I'm blanking on her name, the Goha girl is controlling. And then Zuijouh becomes the giant dragon thing that looks kind of like access code talker. And at some point in this, I don't remember when, it is revealed that Zuijouh kept spreading rush duels throughout the galaxy to give the Earth Dammer power to become sentient. Why? Why would you want the energy source to become a person when you can't keep the person under control long enough to accomplish anything with it? The only reason that the Earth Dammer wanted to duel against Udius was just for fun. None of this shit is working, you fucking idiot. Oh, God. So then those two duels are happening, and then Zuijouh needs the energy of the Earth Dammer to become the dragon thing, which just turns the Earth Dammer into a sphere again. So again, what was the fucking point? And then Yuga is all like, it's okay if we keep dueling, that will give the Earth Dammer back its human form, which, to be fair, Yu-Gi-Oh makes us believe worse, even when the show is good. And also doing that results in Zuijouh being stalled out long enough to not destroy the spaceship so Udius can show up and pilot Galactica Oblivion for the big fight. All right, fine, that's a little relevancy, but like, we didn't need to waste so much time. And that's it. Those are the two episodes. Also, there's the thing that Udius and his 8 8.8 million people, whatever the fuck, went to a hot springs planet. And, okay, ladies, you finally got your fan service as Yugioh got flung into a cave that had a thing about rush duels, which is why they went to Earth, as opposed to the original reason we went to Earth, which was because he wanted to give his people a safe home, which is so much better motivation than going because a rock told you to. And yeah, that was Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush. I have no words. It's all right, look. The reason above all else Cardfight Vanguard was able to deliver such a great episode and Yu-Gi-Oh! Couldn't was A, Yu-Gi-Oh! Fell harder, so it has a much harder time to get back up. But the other reason is that Cardfight Vanguard episode is focused on the two characters, and that is it. You don't have to know anything about the world. You don't really need to know the situation besides the girl got mind messed with, which you should just expect in a card game anime at this point. All you had to do was care about these two kids. In this show, I don't care about anyone, and the show does not seem particularly interested in making me care. So why should I give a shit? This isn't as funny as Sevens or as interesting as the other ones. It is literally a show that just fucking exists to sell you card game product. That is where we are at right now. And we'll probably talk about next week's episode if something interesting happens. If it doesn't, we'll find something else to talk about. We'll find out next week. That was this week's episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush. It exists. As for the TCG question of the week, I'm mad, people. I know I sounded like I was mad before, but you know why I'm really mad? I am mad that the state of Pennsylvania gets 2 regionals back-to-back and New York cannot get 1. Why do I have to go all the way down to Philly for Yu-Gi-Oh! This weekend? Side note, I'll be at the Philly Regional this weekend hosted by Altered Universe. If you see me, come say hi. But my question to you is, does your state get a lot of regionals? If so, what's like the big city? Because I do find that kind of interesting where they like to put them. And if you don't get enough regionals, do you want more regionals, or are you going to beg Konami for one of those sweet, sweet YCSs? Also, Nats is in Raleigh this year. That's going to be pretty cool. But tell me about all that below. And as always, click to like, click to subscribe, and we'll see if you join me.